Hello, Defender Nation. I'm Senior Master Sergeant Velasquez, and welcome back to another installment of Defender Giants. Today, we have a chief that comes highly recommended by other chiefs. He is currently serving as the Command Chief, 23rd Wing, Moody Air Force Base, Georgia. His resume is as impressive as it gets. He is a graduate from the U.S. Army Ranger School, Army Airborne School, CPEC, has 6 deployments under his belt, and is a Bronze Star recipient. Moody Air Force Base is lucky to have his leadership, and I was grateful for the opportunity to speak with him. Ladies and gentlemen, Defender Giant, Chief Master Sergeant Jimmy Wilfong. Chief, welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time to answer some questions for all the defenders out here.
All right, Senior. First off, thanks for this opportunity to be part of your series. Pretty humbling, to be honest with you.
Chief, pleasure is all mine. Jumping right into it. First question, what are a couple books that have influenced your life?
A lot of great books come to mind, but there's 2 that sort of stand out to me. Both of them written by naval officers, both great, incredible books, very easy to read and follow along with. So the first book is Make Your Bed by William McRaven, Admiral McRaven. So a lot of you have probably seen the YouTube video, Facebook post out there where Admiral McRaven is talking to that University of Texas class about making your bed. He wrote a book based on that speech for the most part. So the book gets into a lot of detail about his life and his training, his SEAL training. So the concept of the book's simple. Look, so start your day off, make your bed up, so you complete the first task of the day. And when you get back into bed at the end of the night, you've at least completed one task in that day, no matter how your day goes. But the book's much deeper than that. So it gets into friendship, it gets into teamwork, failure, it gets into how to deal with those dark times in life. There's a quote in the book that I really do like. If you want to change the world, you need to start singing when you're up to your neck in mud. Start singing when you're up to your neck in mud. So my big takeaway from this book is, look, leadership on the surface is easy. Leadership is easy. The hard part is consistent leadership. Consistent leadership is hard. So it's easy to lead when things are sort of looking good. It's really hard to lead when it's not convenient. It's hard to lead when things are sort of going south. It's hard to lead during those bad times. So at the end of the day, start singing when you're up to your neck in mud. But great book. Second book is by David Marquette, which is Turn the Ship Around. This book was turned on to me by Chief Andy Schoen, one of my good friends a few years ago. He recommended this book to me. Basically talks about a submarine that this Dave Marquette took over. The submarine was in bad shape. Leadership before had completely ruined that team and those on the sub. So he sort of shows in this book why the leader-follower concept is outdated. He really focuses on empowerment in this book and why. He has this leader philosophy that he put into place on this submarine, and he shows how impactful that can be if executed properly. For me, and for a lot of you out there, I mean, we're defenders, and we grew up that way, and this sort of resonates with me. Look, there's a one-striper right now, probably right now, sitting out in the missile complex behind a 50 cal machine gun, and we are trusting them to make decisions at a moment's notice to defend nuclear weapons. That decision that they make could lead to the President of the United States getting on TV and addressing the nation. Think about that. So the career field has to keep moving toward the leader model. Look, top-down leadership, leader-follower, that stuff's just not effective in this type of career field. It's needed at times. Tell you to do something, you go do it. It's needed at times, but at large, investing in the leadership skills that everyone naturally has is the most important. That leader concept is key. So those are my 2 books, Make Your Bed and Turn the Ship Around.
I love Admiral McRaven's book, Make Your Bed. This is one of my go-to books that gives me motivation whenever I need that little extra boost in order to accomplish whatever's in front of me. I haven't read Turn the Ship Around yet. That sounds like a really good book. I'm all for empowering our defenders into the next generation of leaders. I know the security forces breeds a culture of leadership amongst our youngest ranks, so it seems like that would be a good book that would go in line with that culture of empowerment. Next question. If you could have a command chief billboard at the main gate, what would it say on it?
I think the phrase that comes to mind first is, what are you doing today to better yourself tomorrow? What are you doing today to make yourself better tomorrow? Simple question. When you think about it, it's super simple. Life is about small goals. There's a lot of things I've done in my career that if I was to think about that end goal of what I was trying to accomplish and only focus on that, I would never get there. So I would take it one day at a time, one bite at a time. So it's all about small goals and moving forward in life. So what are you doing today to make yourself better tomorrow? But there's something much deeper than that in this question. You as a leader out there, you can't compare your goals to others. So what I mean is your goal, maybe it's to run 10 miles. Maybe today you're going to go run 10 miles tonight. That's your goal for the day, your big rock. You're working towards something, whether it's a marathon or something. Got it. So you're going to go run 10 miles. And then you have an airman on your flight who you try to line that goal up with. And you sort of push them as to why are they not doing that? And you look at their goals. Maybe their goal is just to get out of bed, make their bed up, of course, right? But get out of bed and just put their uniform on and show up to work. Maybe that's their goal for the day. And that's significant to them, but for some reason it becomes insignificant to you because your goal is to run 10 miles. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. There are airmen in your ranks right now that are standing in guard mount, that the fact that they have a gun over their shoulder, that was their goal for the day, is to just go to work. Look, life happens. People get into dark places, they struggle, and their goals may not be as big as your goals. So don't try to compare those two things. For me, I've really tried to move away from that and stop trying to compare my goals with other people's goals, and I've done that for a lot of years. So praise those airmen. When you know they're struggling and the fact that they're in guard mount and they have a weapon over their shoulder, thank them for that. Because that might be all they need to build a new goal tomorrow that's even bigger than that goal. At the end of the day, everyone out there, I would challenge you to create a goal every day. Small goal, big goal, it doesn't matter, whatever. Just create a goal every day and try to knock it out, and that's only going to make you better tomorrow.
I like that quote. What are you doing today to make yourself better for tomorrow? That's a great philosophy. But one thing you said that really struck a chord was not to compare our goals with those of others, whether it's our subordinates and we're trying to push our airmen at too fast of a pace, or if it's ourselves that we're trying to accomplish something that's unrealistic at the moment because we're trying to keep pace with somebody else. That's great advice. Next question. What is some bad advice that you see given out frequently to our career field?
There's a couple that stand out to me. The first bad recommendation that I see all the time, bad advice, whatever you want to call it, is blank Air Force Base sucks. So you see it. You're out on Facebook and someone's like, hey, I'm going to U.S Air Force Base. What do you think? And then the comments start. And they're like, wow, there's nothing to do there. It's horrible leadership. The mission's absolutely stupid. No one cares about you on that base. You're really going to hate it there. I just want to go in and delete those comments because it's so problematic. Stop it with this advice. Stop it. And more importantly, stop listening to this advice. The problem with this is when someone tells you that the base sucks and you read it and then you show up to the base, that little thing called confirmation bias starts to pop up and you start to try to figure it out. And you're like, oh yeah, this guy was right. This leadership does suck. Oh, there is nothing to do here. Look, every base, actually I'm going to say this, everything in life is what you make it. But every base is what you make it. As I look back on my career, I've been to a lot of different bases, and I couldn't tell you a lot about the mission and the job and any of that stuff. But what I could tell you about, what I can always tell you about, are the people that I worked with. Because at the end of the day, that's what makes the base. So that blank Air Force Base sucks. Stop it with that. Stop listening to that. Stop taking that advice. Show up and make that base what you want it to be. And you'll be better off for that. The second thing that sort of gets me going would be this new generation is blank. This new generation is lazy, they're whiny, they're entitled, they're screen obsessed. Wow, like don't say that around me. I hear that a lot and I sort of shut that conversation down as quickly as I can. Here's what I say, this new generation is brave. This new generation has, they have breaking some stigmas. They've broken some stigmas. They make talking about sexual assault, talking about racism, talking about mental illness. They make talking about it easy because they're sharing their stories. They're openly sharing their stories out there. That's pretty brave to me. That's something that for years was hard to talk about. But now, because of this new generation, it's a lot easier to talk about those things. Also, this new generation, wow, they are educated. They are smart. The things that these 20, 21-year-olds know about the world and just about life in general, there's a lot more than I knew at that age, a lot more, with information just right at the tips of their fingers. They are smart. But the biggest thing that this new generation wants to do is they want to break the normal. They want to take what you're doing, they want to just snap it in half and reinvent it. And for me, there's nothing wrong with that. Embrace that stuff. If you own a shop, if you own a flight, a section, whatever, let them run. Give them some opportunities and let them run with that. Look, it's not going to be easy. I don't think it was easy for those supervisors back when I was a young airman to embrace the generation that I grew up in. It wasn't easy for them, but they did it. This young generation that's out there now, these airmen, that's the future of our Air Force. We have to break it. We have to embrace it and step away from this new generation is blah, which is typically a negative comment. So those two things sort of get me going with this new generation is and blank Air Force Base sucks.
Chief, great perspective on both accounts. We can find negative things to say about every base, and equally so we can find positives, and it's all dependent on how we want to look at it. And then secondly, when it comes to the next generation of airmen, we can sit and criticize them, or we can engage and take advantage of their talents and abilities. Next question. When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, what are some things you do to overcome it?
Wow, so I moved into this new position over at the 23rd Wing just several days right before COVID-19 and before it started to become like a thing. So it's just a couple days before that, to be honest with you. And so I've been overwhelmed at times, unfocused at times over the last couple of months. It's been testing. So some of the things that I do, and one of the main things I do is fitness, exercise, running. Just because of the stay-at-home orders and the things that are going on, it's hard to get out. I can't really go anywhere, so I'm sort of stuck to the base or to the local area. So running has been something that I've been doing a lot more of lately to just help clear my mind. If those of you that know me know that I just hate running, absolutely hate it. I've always hated it. I always will hate it. But when I'm done, I do feel better and I feel like my mind is a little bit clearer. But I'll tell you what, once the stop movement order and the stay-at-home orders and all that stuff are sort of maybe in the rearview mirror, my favorite thing in life is to take some leave and just go out and do some backpacking and do some hiking. I know a lot of you have actually done that with me. I've taken a lot of friends out on some trails before, and we've done some multiple day backpacking trips. Just something about nature that just, gosh, you can just disconnect from the fast-paced world. A lot of those trails and places that you're at, they just don't have cell service. It's just, you just simplify life. And I really do appreciate that. So nature is what I sort of turn to when I am getting overwhelmed, when I'm unfocused. And that's just my way of recharging my batteries. But to all of you out there, find something healthy. Healthy being the key word here. Find something healthy to do to help reset your mind and body. A lot of unhealthy things out there that we can turn to, but find something healthy to turn to and go that route instead. But yeah, nature's my thing. That's what I get at.
Those are some great tips on finding healthy outlets to get yourself refocused and back on track. Chief, the floor is yours for final thoughts.
Yeah, so one more thing here. I just want to say thanks to all of you out there. I've been a defender for 25 years now. I know what it's like to be a defender. I know what it's like to have no stripes. I get it. It is not easy. It is not glamorous, but it is vastly important to what we're trying to do as a country and as an Air Force. So thank you for everything you all are doing every single day in defense of this country. It is much appreciated, and keep defending the base.
Chief, thank you again for taking the time to share some of your career experiences and personal advice with the defenders out here. We greatly appreciate it and look forward to your continued leadership.